Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the AM Report for HAPS News, the network of now. I'm Alex Mahajer, and it is Tuesday, February 16th this morning. The very first civil lawsuit has been brought against Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani for conspiring with the Proud Boys and other right-wing extremist groups to incite the Capitol insurrection on January 6th. We're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss Joe Biden's moves this week, as well as other top headlines across the country. All of this and more on the AM Report. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the AM Report for HAPS News. I'm Alex Mahajer. Good to see you all this morning. Good morning, Raymond from Raleigh. Renee, good to see you. Chantal from Paris. Hello. Renee from Johnstown. Good to see you all this morning. If you're watching on the HAPS app, website, or platform, click the award button. Let us know you're enjoying it. It'll pop up live on air, or we can leave me a comment on Facebook, Reddit, YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, wherever you may be watching. We'll bat around with each other live on air. It's good to see you guys. Let me know where you're watching from. I love seeing people from across the country and across the globe, really, as we dive into today's top headlines. And we've got a lot to cover this morning. First and foremost, a storm has dumped snow across the majority of the United States, and millions have been left without electricity, particularly in the state of Texas. Now, the snowfall has reached areas that rarely get it, like Austin, Texas, which has seen about 6 inches of snow, and that state has hit record low temperatures, which has prompted Texas Governor Abbott, to ask people to stay at home to avoid to save lives in the wake of this storm. And I just think that's hilarious, because Texas is, of course, known for its lax handling of the coronavirus pandemic. And so here's a tweet that I sent out to Governor Greg Abbott yesterday. Hey, Greg Abbott, you're going to let them take your liberties? We have a right to leave our homes and get a haircut when we want to. Telling people to not leave their homes just because of a snowstorm. It's a Snokes. Hashtag Snokes. Either way, Texas, all jokes aside, be careful, be safe. We're having a cold weather storm across the continental United States. So in political news, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has announced a bipartisan independent panel that will investigate the Capitol insurrection, much like the 9/11 Commission, which took several years to investigate the failings that led to that tragic event. And in this instance, the decision is following a security review by retired Army Lieutenant General Russell Honore, who Pelosi tapped last month to explore how police officers at the Capitol failed to stop the attack. So she is seeing this information, and she has decided she's going to launch an independent panel to investigate the failures of January 6th and where we need reforms. So very interesting to note. And with regards to January 6th, Trump, the big headline of the day, is facing his first civil lawsuit since the insurrection. So the lawsuit is alleging that Trump and Giuliani conspired with far-right extremist groups to cause violence at the Capitol on January 6th. So this lawsuit is being brought by Mississippi Congressman Benny Thompson. He's a leader in the House Democratic Caucus in the House of Representatives. He's bringing the lawsuit in his own personal capacity. It's the first civil lawsuit that Trump is facing with regards to the events that happened on January 6th. And he's alleging that Trump conspired with Rudy Giuliani and the far-right groups like Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers to incite the insurrection. So very interesting to note that this lawsuit is doing a couple of things. First of all, it's citing as its basis for the suit a very rarely used law and an older law called the Ku Klux Klan Act, the Ku Klux Klan Act, say it 5 times fast, of 1871, okay? And this is a lawsuit, the lawsuit's alleging that violations of this act are the basis. So basically, the lawsuit alleges that this act that it's using, it was used to prevent KKK violence and intimidation that would prevent members of Congress in the South during Reconstruction from carrying out their constitutional duties. So the statute was intended specifically to protect against conspiracies and violence by racist, white nationalist groups that interfere with the work of government in order to prevent the government doing the work and to cause violence. I mean, it sounds so parallel, it's almost shocking. And either way, here we are. It's not 1871 anymore, but a very on point act. Other people have brought up RICO charges for Donald Trump because that's how mob bosses get charged in the United States. It's not, if they don't get charged for the conspiracies and the violence, they end up going down for tax fraud or tax evasion. Questions from the audience, from the viewers. Let's see. Michelle asks, once there's a deposition, will that open Trump up to criminal charges? That could, in a civil deposition, that could open up Trump to more criminal charges, but more likely than not, the criminal investigations that are happening right now will result in criminal charges. And the fact that there's now documentary evidence and testimonial evidence about what happened January 6th in the public record, it doesn't help Trump because you can use that in criminal court as the basis for the lawsuits. Lots of people chiming in. Good morning, Chris Wigan from Denver. Good morning, Raymond. Good to see you. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle got tons of snow, apparently. It's snowing from last night. It started at 4 p.m. So I'm hoping that you guys are staying safe out there. So with regards to this, Michelle's question about criminal charges, it's not just this civil lawsuit. So there's civil court and criminal court. Criminal court usually results in sentencing, prison time. Civil suits are for monetary damages brought by individuals, not the government. So if there's more trouble both in civil and criminal court for Donald Trump outside of this first civil lawsuit, there are civil and criminal lawsuits brewing in multiple jurisdictions. Washington, D.C., the attorney general there is looking into charging Trump for the Capitol violence that happened January 6th. The Fulton County District Attorney in Georgia, Fannie Willis, is investigating attempts to influence the election, including Trump's call, that now infamous phone call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, Brad Raffensperger, trying to find 11,000 votes. That is going to be a part of that criminal probe, including also Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham's involvement in that. And New York Attorney General Letitia James is investigating Trump for tax fraud and tax evasion related to his business dealings at the Trump Organization, which, the New York Times did reporting about Trump's taxes prior to the election, and Trump owes nearly $1 billion to foreign banks and foreign entities, and we're not exactly sure to whom. And those debts are going to be coming due over the next couple of years. And so there's a lot of questions about Trump's finances and how it's going to go down. The other thing that's very interesting in this lawsuit that's being brought, the civil suit by Benny Thompson, it is citing in its actual complaint, citing Mitch McConnell's exact words in his U.S. Senate floor speech from just a couple days ago when he voted to acquit Trump and then got up on the Senate floor and just condemned Trump and testified to his guilt. So Mitch McConnell's actual speech is being cited in his complaint using the KKK Act of 1871. And to refresh your memory, here's what Mitch McConnell said on the Senate floor after his votes to acquit. Here's Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
American citizens attacked their own government. They used terrorism to try to stop a specific piece of domestic business they did not like. Fellow Americans beat and bloodied our own police. They stormed the Senate floor. They tried to hunt down the Speaker of the House. They built a gallows and chanted about murdering the Vice President. They did this because they'd been fed wild falsehoods by the most powerful man on earth. Because he was angry he'd lost an election. Former President Trump's actions preceded the riot were a disgraceful dereliction of duty. The House accused the former president of, quote, incitement. That is a specific term from the criminal law. Let me just put that aside for a moment and reiterate something I said weeks ago. There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day. No question about it. The people who stormed this building believed they were acting on the wishes and instructions of their president.
Don't take it from me. Take it from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. His own very own words. So we'll keep an eye. And Chris Weigand, very good comment, saying how disgraceful and shameful for Mitch McConnell to vote the opposite of how he states the case. Either way, Mitch McConnell is saying Donald Trump should be charged during criminal court. He's punting to the criminal courts and he's punting to civil courts. He's saying sue this MFer. And now that's happening. And so, and Raymond says, but yet he voted not guilty in the impeachment trial. Shaking my head. It's gutless. But I'll tell you what. This exact language is being cited to in the first civil lawsuit brought against Trump and Giuliani, and I suspect it won't be the first time that the House Democratic impeachment managers' efforts on this conviction trial in the Senate will be cited to in criminal and civil courts across the country, and that's why it was important. Although we did not get a conviction in this trial, what we do know is that this is laying a documentary record for the world to know. Also, very good point from a commenter saying that the civil requirement is different than the criminal requirement. Matt, Matt Kubler, your comment is very long, so I'm gonna summarize it for people because it won't display on the screen. But the threshold for proving your case in a civil lawsuit is much lower. In a civil lawsuit, it's the preponderance of the evidence. In a criminal lawsuit, it's evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Evidence beyond a reasonable doubt is a much harder threshold to cross than in a civil lawsuit. So these civil lawsuits have a much higher chance of succeeding, and we will keep an eye on that. FDNYC says your mustache is crap, but misspelled your. So FDNYC, my mustache might be crap, but at least I can spell. Anita French says we already knows that. I'm not sure exactly what she already knows, but she knows it. This has been the AM Report for Happs News, the network of Now. We are live every weekday morning with all of your quick political news and headlines to get your day started right. If you like this journalism, if you like this content, please consider sponsoring it. You can do that at happs.tv/@Alex. You can become a recurring monthly sponsor or just buy me a cup of coffee, or you can even click the subscribe button and just get a notification when we go live every morning. I love your LOLs and LMAOs because I live for these moments just like you do. I will see you all tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic Tuesday. And Michelle and everybody at home in the snow, be careful. Stay safe. Don't drive. Wear a mask. It's not that hard, Governor Abbott. Not that hard. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.